This is the 2023 GMC Sierra 1500 SLT, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, we are going to attempt to answer the question, is this the most reasonably priced trim level for this particular model of truck from GMC? You'll have to tell me what you think down in the comments section after we go over all of the different features and functionality. One thing that definitely helps this truck out when it comes to competing with other trucks is the fact that it has a multitude of engine options, including a 2.7 liter four-cylinder, a 3-liter diesel option, the 5.3 liter V8, which is what we have here, and a 6.2 liter V8. So depending on your situation, well, that might be something that you want to consider based on your towing and hauling needs. One of the big advantages to this particular truck is the length of the cab. And while the driver and passenger in the front seat have ample room, there are advantages to having ample room here in the rear seat area for passengers as well, including the lack of a tall transmission tunnel. That transmission tunnel does not protrude up real high into the interior, so that's going to make things a lot more comfortable for whoever can't get to the outboard seats and gets stuck in the middle. It also has a large and cavernous bed with 12 total tie downs. And one of the things I really like about this truck has to do with lighting. You have LED lighting everywhere you look. There is LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, also LED fog lights down there on the lower portion of the bumper, even though I don't have those on. And in case somebody asks, no, you cannot make the lights have that flickering effect. That has to do with the shutter speed of the GoPro I'm using to film the video. No matter what I change the shutter speed to, that is an issue. Now, you don't have a forward-facing camera on this model. For the price point, I think that should be standard equipment. It's not, but it is what it is. A lot of chrome on and around the truck. This is the Texas edition, as you can see right here with the badging. And we also have 275 on the width for our tires. We're going to have the 60 series sidewall, and all of that's going to be wrapped around a 20-inch wheel. And a lot of extra lighting. You can see the lighting within the mirrors right here. These are power adjustable side view mirrors with the chrome mirror caps, and they also are power folding. You can use the button right here to make that action take place. Makes it very easy and convenient in a multitude of ways if you need to use that. When it comes to the door handles, also chrome. Here on the front doors, only on the front, not on the rear, at least on this trim level, is the button right here. That's called passive entry. What that means is when you have the remote on your person, which here is the remote, that means you can walk up and lock or unlock all 4 doors with that button. You can see everything that's here, including remote start. I know a lot of you really like that. There's the Sierra logo and the affixed side steps. These aren't power steps, but they're still just as functional. If you go with the Denali or the Denali Ultimate trim levels, you'll have a button on the step in this area, even though the step will be further forward, and you push that button with your foot, and the side steps come back into this basic position, and that allows you to gain access to the front of the bed. Makes things a lot more convenient instead of having to hop in through the bed itself, through the back with the tailgate down, or even using what are very convenient bumper steps right here. As you can see, they're deep, they're wide, providing a lot of sure-footedness. And back here we also have the LED tail lights. Quite a bit going on here. The cab light up there, as well as the light here on the tailgate. And let's not forget the in-bed lighting that is conveniently positioned and angled towards the front of the bed. That's going to do a good job of lighting things up after dark. And there are 4 engine options to choose from. The 2.7 liter four-cylinder, the 3-liter diesel that has a surprising amount of horsepower and torque. That's a 6-cylinder engine. And then the 2 V8 options, the 5.3 liter V8 as we have here, or the 6.2 liter V8. In this particular situation, we have 355 horsepower from the 5.3 liter V8, and that pairs up with 383 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And in case you're curious, what kind of MPGs can you potentially expect? 16 city, 20 highway, 17 combined? And GMC says you should use 5.9 gallons of gas per every 100 miles you drive. And if you're curious, well, how much gas does it hold? This truck has a 22-gallon gas tank. When it comes to towing, this truck can tow between 9,000 and 9,400 pounds. And here is the Multi-Pro tailgate. When we open that in the conventional manner, it reveals the bed. Like I said, a lot of tie downs. There's 12 total, 3 in the front, 3 in the rear on each side. It does have the bed liner that it should come with at this price point. Payload comes in at 1,990 pounds. Now, let's talk about one more thing for those who may not be in the know. You might notice that this tailgate looks a little different. That's because this is the Multi-Pro tailgate. It not only opens in the conventional manner, as we just saw right there, but you can push the button up here and it opens like this. So here's what you can do. This can be used as a table. You can also come right here and open that up and use that as a bed extender. Something can butt up against that if necessary. But that's not all that we have. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and push this back up, and we'll bring the tailgate down in its conventional position, and you have a second option for a bed extender. Same basic process of what we saw and its same use, just in a different position compared to what we saw earlier. Now, that also is a step to make it easier to get in and out of the bed. And while I don't really find it necessary, there is a handle right there that's built in, very easy to put in place and stow back in place when it's not in use. And you can have a few different things depending on trim level and how the truck is optioned out. In this case, we have the lighting on each area here in the middle, 2 different lights there. You can also have the kicker audio system. So quite a bit of functionality here. And one more thing that I like about this, that in my opinion is at least another addition. If there's something in the rear of the bed that you need to get to, it's easier because you can get further forward into the bed by simply doing what I did right there, folding that step up like that. And so quite a bit in the way of being a multitasker with this Multi-Pro tailgate. And plentiful space in a multitude of ways here in the rear seating area. Large door bins and a nice comfortable armrest right here. And something else that I like here in these trucks is that you have the in-seat storage. Something you'll only see on GMCs and Chevrolets. So at the moment, at least, that is the case. Nice little bit of space there. And obviously, you can easily store things under the seat or gain access to the tools necessary to change a tire. And as we hop inside, going to have the dual rear seat pockets, what used to be called map pockets, but nobody really uses a handheld map anymore, at least for the most part, so that's somewhat unnecessary to call it a map pocket. You will find air conditioning vents here and a couple of options for USB connectivity. Cup holders are literally everywhere you look. Not only those door bins on the rear of the center console, but also here within the fold-down armrest. Now, one thing that is not here, but obviously is an available option, is going to be the conventional size sunroof. Still no panoramic option available as of 2023. And we'll take a look in through the passenger side front door now. Again, nice large door bins with plentiful space, the comfortable armrest, gonna have a little bit of chrome and the darker look here on the trim. We're gonna have the upper and the lower glove boxes here. Like I said, this truck is full of little nooks and crannies and multiple places for storage, even a little bit above that 13.4-inch touchscreen right there. And you will find the power seats. Now, these are not massage seats, but that's about the only thing missing here, because they're power for the driver and passenger, and they're ventilated, and thankfully, thank you GMC, ventilated as well. So that means that we can have a nice comfortable driving experience today, even though it's getting really hot out here. Now, if you haven't looked at one of these trucks in a couple of years, say 2021 or earlier was the last time you looked, you might notice that there is no wireless charging pad. Well, not there at least. This is where the wireless charging pad is now. So let me pull my phone out just to give you a good demonstration. You just pretty much deposit your phone down there. Obviously it's not going to come on right now because I don't have the ignition of the truck turned on, but that will give you an idea of what is there. Now there is the shifter for this truck. Tell me what you think about that. Do you like that shifter, or would you rather opt for the column shifter? That seems a little more truck-like, at least to me. And then the nice large center console right here, the lid that doubles as an armrest, and then there is an unbelievable amount of space in here. Nice little storage tray that you can leave out if you want to, but you can see how deep everything is there. A couple of options for connectivity, as you can see, not only there, but you also have the power outlet right here. Quite a bit going on. There are also connectivity options right here. I don't think anybody is going to have any trouble plugging in their device in this truck, no matter where they sit. And in case you were curious about using remote start on this truck, it's so simple. I really don't even need to show this, but I'll show it anyway. All you're going to do is make sure the truck is locked, and then you hit that button twice, and the truck starts right up. Very simple process. And as we take a look in through the driver's side door, for the most part, it's going to be a carbon copy of what we saw on the passenger side. We'll have your controls here as you expect for the mirrors. I showed you a little bit of that functionality earlier. But one thing that I like that you have here at this particular price point is the memory for the seats, the seat memory, only on the driver's side. It would be nice to see that on the passenger side as well. Obviously for 2022, the dashboard design changing, positioning of the controls here for the headlights and driving modes and all the different lighting around the vehicle changing as well. And something that you might not expect to find here. You do have a tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel, but it is power adjustable, so that definitely is a nice feature. Now let's see if I can get you all of the different graphics that come up on the screen here, the animated graphics, and this will vary a little bit depending on trim level. So if you go with the Denali or the Denali Ultimate, those are going to look a little different compared to what they do right there. So here is the 13.2 inch screen. As you can see, that is a very nice look, and you can go through a lot of different information on this truck. And all I'm doing is scrolling with the scroll wheel right here. And you can do even more than this. I'm just going to show you just a small amount just so you can know what is here as far as the truck goes. So a very simplistic system. You can have the digital speedometer right there. You can see you also have the traffic sign recognition up there. And I did mention earlier that we have multiple driving modes. So what exactly are those modes? We have normal, we have sport, we have off-road, and then we go back and start all over again. So those are your driving modes. Now, the 13.4 inch screen right here, a big improvement. You even have Google Assistant. I'm not going to demonstrate that because it seems like every time that I do, I upset people because I set off devices in your home. So it's pretty simple to use. It's all voice activated. Even with Google Maps right there, you can use that with voice activation. And we do have a camera. We have a rear camera view here. There are other camera options available. You can have a ton of cameras around these trucks depending on what you like, what your situation is, and really what you're willing to spend. And when you go into settings right here, let's take a look at what we have here. As you can see, connections, you have vehicle, all that good stuff right there. In fact, when you go into vehicle, if you're curious, you do have teen driver mode. You have the rear seat reminder. You can turn the buckle to drive feature on and off. I do encourage you to drive with your seatbelt on, but there might be situations where you're driving around out on the deer lease, out on the farm, in a parking lot, and you don't need to put your seatbelt on. And the truck will go ahead and go into drive when this is off. So if you want to leave that on, there you go. That's what that's going to look like. Pretty simplistic setup here. And then we're going to have a few one-touch buttons right here underneath. You folks are more than smart enough for me not have to tell you exactly what all of that is. Obviously, push button start. And you can see that I have the ventilated seats on right here. That is very important. I could go with the heated seats, but I am not about to do that because it is not necessary today. And we also have dual zone climate control. Quite a bit going on within the interior of this truck. One disadvantage about not having a sunroof is that I have to stick you in the windshield, and that's about my best option. So I apologize that we can't give you quite the best view, at least in my opinion. Some of you may be okay with that view. But either way, that's what we have to work with today here on our test drive. These trucks are very enjoyable to drive. In fact, depending on the trim level, if you want to go higher and spend more money, you really would call this a luxury truck on higher trim levels, especially with the Denali and the Denali Ultimate having so many features, multiple camera views, and just a lot more going on there. But for the price point of what you have here, I think you get quite a bit. The truck itself, as far as the ride quality goes, well, it is a truck. It's going to ride somewhat like a truck, maybe not as bad as trucks did in the past, but at the same time, it may not ride like a Cadillac either. So it's a good balance either way. The ride quality is pretty comfortable, but you get what you might expect with most trucks. As far as visibility goes, you're in really good shape there. You can see very well out of this truck. I know a lot of people have made videos and written reviews about these trucks that say that it's a little challenging to see over the hood. The hood is quite long and being very squared off. Well, at first it seems that way, but you get used to it. It's just like anything else out there on the road. And depending on your situation, well, obviously you have those multiple engine options I mentioned earlier. If you want the most horsepower, you definitely want to go with the 6.2 liter V8 that makes 420 horsepower. The torque numbers on that motor come in at 420. Every one of these combinations will be made into a 10-speed automatic transmission across the board. So depending on what you want under the hood, you're still going to have that same transmission. It's definitely going to do a great job of getting the job done. But overall, a very nice truck. You're getting a lot of features for the money in this day and age. So tell me what you think. Based on all of the options and features that you get for this particular truck, the SLT trim level for 2023, is it the most reasonably priced GMC Sierra 1500? Some of the other trucks can get up over $90,000, believe it or not. So you're definitely going to have a lot of great features and functionality here for the money. Is it good enough? Tell me what your thoughts are, and tell me why you answered the way that you did. I look forward to reading your comments. I have to say a special thanks to my friends at Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this truck for the day. If you want to know more about this particular truck or any other truck in inventory at Morgan Buick GMC, check out the link down in the description of the video. And obviously want to say a special thanks to each and one of you, every one of you, without getting tongue twisted, for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.